I see your problem here. You want a good Halloween movie. Well, we just got Mischief Night, and that was pretty good, not gonna lie to you. Um, you know what? People have been asking for Mischief Night. Well, guess what? They asked for Mischief Night, so I'm gonna give them Mischief Night. By the way, I don't need glasses, but I would be rocking with them. Mischief Night. So one of my subscribers asked me to review Mischief Night. I didn't know which one, so I decided to review both movies called Mischief Night because there are two movies called Mischief Night, which is strange because I believe both these movies had different titles. This movie is more Halloween themed than the other one, but you know, I'm gonna go with the other movie because this movie's weird. This movie's weird. Like, really weird. The movie is essentially about a babysitter on Mischief Night, babysitting a baby, and a home intruder breaks in. Sounds familiar. But the movie takes a nosedive because later, the home invader falls in love with the girl, and the girl falls in love with the killer. First things first. The acting was good for the most part. There were a few times where the line delivery could have been better. So the actors were okay. Every line from Malcolm McDowell was just perfect. I love that man. That man's so hot. I didn't say anything. The dude who plays the killer, he's okay. Some of the kid actors are okay too. Overall, production-wise, the movie looks really good. I think that overall it's edited fairly confident, and overall it's shot very well. And it's got some interesting kills, some nice practical effects. But that's about where I'm gonna leave my likes, because overall this movie's weird. You see, I went into this movie thinking, okay, it's gonna be a home invasion film like the other Mischief Night. That's how this movie's marketed. Then the movie takes a nosedive about 30 to 40 minutes in. And the killer falls in love with the girl. She's like a masochist or whatever they call it, and he's a sadist or I don't know what they call it. It's like he enjoys, you know, causing pain on the others, and she enjoys being humiliated and, you know, being hurt. Kind of like your kink, you know. But the movie I wanted was a slasher. I wanted to see a good versus evil fight, something similar to the last movie I watched. It's unfortunate because this movie's not anything like that. It starts that way, but then it takes a nosedive and it becomes a romantic comedy. And it's boring because the tone overall is all over the place. And you expect, like, the movie is trying really hard to make you think that this dude is actually going to kill someone, but it's not believable. I don't believe this guy's a killer. I don't believe it. In fact, something I should mention, the first kill happens like 20 to 30 minutes, and it was like, okay, not a bad opening. The opening of this movie was actually fairly decent. And then it just kind of takes a nosedive, and the tones change. And the tone and dialogue changes. It's all over the place. And to be honest, even though I think the acting's good, the writing on the script is very weird because most of the characters aren't having a normal conversation. They're actually spreading information to the audience. Like the one guy, this guy comes over and he says like, "Oh, hi, Stephanie," and she's like, "Why did you come over?" And he says, "I would have called, but my phone, it's the receptionist." And she's like, she just says something completely different, and the tone's just very weird and it's out of place. And this movie's boring in the halfway point as we follow the girl, the babysitter, and the wannabe serial killer as they TP and prank people's houses on Mischief Night. And then they make out. And because I didn't really feel anything for the characters, when they were giving these deep, long backstories and, trying to do character development, I just wasn't really engaged. It was just really weird, man, and this movie. Something else I want to mention. I'm sorry, guys. I'm really tired. Something I really want to mention here is that the last act of the movie is actually probably my favorite part of the movie because it becomes a slasher again, and it's more entertaining when twists and turns are happening. And I'll admit, the twist was kind of interesting, but overall the movie's just kind of boring because as characters are talking, we don't really care for them, and not a lot of interesting stuff is happening. It's just them saying, "I love you." Well, I don't really love you, but you're weird and I'm fascinated by you. So let's just I'll follow you around as you say weird stuff. And it's like, okay, wanna kill me? No, I'd rather just spend the night with you. Okay, well, let's go TP some houses. And they do that for about 20 minutes, and then they have a quick dialogue scene, and then they talk some more about stuff that's not engaging and interesting. And then the twist happens, and it's kind of cool what the twist is. And, overall, the movie's not terrible. I wasn't really engaged. But I feel like if this movie wasn't marketed as a horror movie and more as a thriller, drama, Halloween, if the horror wasn't the main thing that they centered on, then maybe I would have enjoyed this movie better. But I was going in expecting a slasher, home invasion film, and I didn't get that. And I'm a little disappointed. I'm a little disappointed in that because romance movies are my least favorite movie genre because the bad ones are just them talking about making out, which is not engaging. Sure, some people don't like to get scared of horror movies, but as a Christian, I like to watch horror movies to see the good versus evil battle. Not in this case. Overall, though, I'm going to give this movie a C because my thoughts on it are kind of split. On the one hand, it's not a bad film, but on the other hand, it could use some tweaks. But I know someone out there is going to like this film, as I know one or two people that do like this, and that's totally fine. They do enjoy it. I'll at least give them props that this movie was Halloween themed. So, what's next? Well, let's check. Okay, so the next Halloween movie we're going to review. Paranorman.